Hey, welcome everybody. It's Clinton Dye here. I have a good friend of mine, Shannon Higginson. If you don't know who this guy is, you got to get to his YouTube, his Instagram. Check that out. This guy is a multi-seven-figure entrepreneur. He owns Higginson Homes, does crazy remodels and custom home builds, and then he owns a jiu-jitsu school. The man is a real deal legend, professional. I call him friend. We're going to give him the floor and let him just rock his thing. Hit it.
Thank you, Clinton. Appreciate you having me here, bro. This is exciting. You know I love this shit. I live for this, man. I live for this. But yes, yeah, 2 construction companies, jiu-jitsu school, real estate properties, working on the coaching business, right? Because I'm going to be, I want to be helping people with their business.
Yeah.
They need it bad. They need it bad.
Get it.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, as an entrepreneur in this space, I've launched a business myself. I know how difficult it is to manage relationships, family, and then grow your business. You're in the growth phase of your life and you have a family. So break it down to just people like me, the audience. How do you manage in being high level in personal development, family, fitness, and grow your business at the same time? Fucking give it to us.
I prioritize my focus and my energy and my time on the things that are aligned with the pursuit of my purpose. And my family comes with me. My wife is also very immersed in my business. She does the bookkeeping, accounting, all that stuff, right? My son, homeschooled, so he's with us all the time. We go to dinner, he's with us. He's also doing jiu-jitsu. It's non-negotiable for him. Like, we just show him life. So the thing about the correlation of business and family, and it's like this. I can't really say, oh, I'm going to put my family over here while I go do business, right? No. There's times where I have to go do business and they can't be there, but together, Sari and I, we're having conversations nightly, daily. Right. Like we are together in this. And then my son, man, when I have me time with my son, we're hanging out. We're together. I'm where my feet are at. He's doing jiu-jitsu class. I teach class. I do jiu-jitsu at least 2 to 3 days a week, minimum. I used to do it 6 days a week like a freak, but it got to the point where now I'm kind of like at a place in my life where 3 days a week still keeps me sharp. I'm still learning. I always got to be learning in order to teach, right?
Right.
And it all together, it just happens, it just happens. So
Yeah.
having a family that supports me and I support them and we do it together, it makes it even more, probable for me to be successful.
Yeah, 100%. That's the best way to put it is you got to kind of be a master of all. And one thing that I looked for in life as a guidance and a mentorship was someone doing the things in all the areas. A lot of people excel in, say, relationship or money or fitness. It doesn't really matter. They're a jack of one trade. And that never excited me because I wanted to see that superhero that had, all the attributes that I considered successful. And it wasn't just the money. It was the body, the money, the family, spirituality, those kinds of things. Fatherhood I resonate with. So that's really amazing that you can pull it off. I myself struggle in the balance between entrepreneurship and family relationships. I'm so driven. I'm just a 1 cent thing, like pick up hammer, bash head kind of guy. So that's how I move through the world, and it doesn't really work. And my relationship pillars, friends and family, and professional always struggle if they're not really aligned with my entrepreneurial journey, is because I'm just so driven in kind of one area oftentimes. So
Yeah.
I got to build it up.
It's 100% true. Like, so I need, my niche is obviously construction business, right? And the portion of construction business, because I don't swing the hammer anymore, right? Once in a while for fun, I'll pick it up just to play around. But I don't swing the hammer anymore. I manage. So it's all relationships, literally all relationships. And the ability to be able to do that from my house and my wife's around, I can't say that it's not a blessing, right?
Right.
As much as I worked for that, it is a gift, and I am grateful. And I think it makes it even more exciting for us when my wife and kid actually see me do the hard stuff too.
Right.
She's a support machine. My wife is a savage. Without her, I would not be here. Yeah.
Hey, if the audience doesn't know his wife, she is a fucking savage,
Yeah.
and you should follow him and check her out. She's along with the journey, but she's an important part of this. Just having dinner with the two and the family, you can see it. There is a leader in the family. I think the father is clearly the leader in this situation, but the queen of the house is clearly moving the neck,
Yeah,
if you will. In
Yeah,
the
she
family.
course corrects, man, real quick, right? You know, even the captain of the ship can't keep course himself. Right? He's
Right.
got to have hands. But dude, it's not easy for everyone. I get it. But then again, nothing is easy that is going to be worthwhile. If you think you're going to cruise through life and it's just going to happen, you're delusional. You're delusional.
Yeah, we
Nothing
found out
works
the
for
hard
you
way.
unless you work for it, right? And anything that you desire, you have to work for, and it's always moving, and there's other people chasing it, right? It's just like competition. I don't have much competition. And the reason is because I built myself to be somebody that's undeniably very, very good at what I do. And I don't care what anyone says when they say, oh, what about your competition? I say, what competition? I don't care. Like I do me. I run my business this way, okay? I don't deviate from my pricing, my margins, right? My systems and processes. If this guy over here, Joe Blow, Dan in the van, if he's cheaper, cool, go hire him. But let me ask you a question. Is he really who you instinctively feel is going to be the best fit for you?
Sure.
So the competition is actually very easy. Unfortunately for them, right? They got to compete with guys like me. Well, guess what? You don't have to compete with guys like me if you hire guys like me to help guys like you get to where you want to be.
Sure.
And when it comes to the construction service industry, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning.
Right.
I'm never going to stop learning, and I love that. But when it comes to the construction service industry, there's not much I don't have, man.
Right.
There's not much. Everything from the marketing, the sales, the CRM, right? Processes and systems, like how to write checks. Because in order to cash checks, you have to write checks. You know what I mean?
You got to have a pin first.
Plain and simple. Yeah. Because everybody has a craft.
Sure.
Whether they know it or not, they're working on a craft. Everyone has a craft. Well, how do you monetize that craft? Well, you're going to make it marketable. Well, how do you market it? There's where you start. And you got to have something that's attractive because people purchase things that are attractive to them, right? And also, you have to have a way to deliver it. Oh, here's the craft, boom. Well, it isn't as simple as like picking it up and setting it down, right? There's a lot of moving parts there. You got to manage that. Or you implement people to manage it, right?
Sure.
I can show you that. Another thing that I love about what I do is the thrill of a deal and seeing it come to fruition, right? When I go meet with a potential client, I actually have my salesman start out. He sets it up. I knock it down, right? He sets it up, I knock it down. When I go meet with a client and we have a conversation, 5 minutes into the conversation, their frequency went from here to here. Like they're like, wow, this is real. Yes, it's real. I take the fear away. And when you take the fear away, they trust you. When they trust you, they buy from you.
Sure.
Yeah. And then the reputation just keeps compounding.
Oh yeah, it builds over time, just like everything in life.
100%.
It builds over time. So, in your niche, I know you're super successful. So let's kind of hear about that. What are you guys doing in sales? I'm familiar with construction, but there aren't many 7-figure entrepreneurs in the construction space. So let's hear about that. What do you guys? How long have you been doing it? What are you guys doing annually? And where do you see yourself going over the next 2-3 years?
So I'm definitely growth oriented, right? It's all about growth. And for me, that looks like personal development, right? You have to build a who. You got to be somebody capable of delivering. And the more exceptional you are as an individual, the more likely you're going to deliver. And the more likely you can deliver things that a magnitude that's unimaginable. For instance, I have remodels that are $1 million. I have people say, Shannon, I want you to remodel my home. This is the caliber and this is the check I'm going to write you. Kind of $1 million. Most people don't even know what that looks like, and
sure.
Not to brag, but I set a standard and I stick to that standard so that I'm able to do these remodels. Yeah. So let's go back a little bit about your question. Personal development. I have a website that is pristine and it's connected to a CRM, and I have an assistant that kind of manages it. And then I have basically a marketing director that manages getting it in front of people. So my website looks great, works great, call to action button. They get in there, they enter their information, automatically goes to the CRM. Within 5 minutes, my assistant gets back to them, right? Automatic email reply too, but she calls them. She'll hit them over the head. Hi, this is Amber with Hickinson Homes. Bam. And then what she does is she gets them on the phone with myself or Aaron. Aaron's my sales guy for one division.
Sure.
John with the other division. So she gets them on the phone. We do a phone consultation. And the reason we do a phone consultation is because there's so many tire kickers out there.
Right.
For those of you who don't know what a tire kicker is, a tire kicker is somebody who is just shopping around, but they ain't buying, right?
Yeah.
They're just using you as an opportunity to educate themselves. Okay, so we get them on the phone. We have a conversation, build the relationship a little bit, right? Ask them some questions, bullet point questions, but very much required. I don't start off with like, hey, what's your budget? Then you just turn them off right away.
Sure.
But I do get to that. I say, hey, you know what? That kitchen remodel that you're describing to me looks like this one in my portfolio. We do that one pretty. We've done a lot of those. We would love to help you out with that one. There's a range of somewhere of $120,000 to $180,000. Where in that area would you like to have a conversation about? And then we get the flinch factor, like the silence or the, oh my God. Like we can see they had no idea.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all, yeah. Or that's all, yeah. So, we basically wean out the people that we know aren't gonna be our client, because one thing that's important in life as well as business is saying no.
Oh yeah.
You gotta say no. Yeah. If you waste your time and energy chasing clients who are just want to spend minimal money and they're going to be nitpicky as shit and drag you through the mud, you're going to work twice as hard for less pay.
Oh yeah. They're the worst.
Yeah. So the sales process is very important. And in my industry, a lot of guys don't have the sales process down, period. They can walk in and give a vague estimate, but that's just it. The process was vague, so therefore the product's probably going to be vague.
Sure.
And when you're going into a remodel with a client, you're getting married to them for a little bit.
Yeah, a good 6 months or a year or longer.
Yeah, well, a big remodel like that $1 million remodels are about 8 months. Where we're touching everywhere in the house, redoing the structural integrity, everything.
Yeah. It's like having a baby. Jesus.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
I love that, man. So, walk me through. So you talked about million dollar things. So in the construction business, what would be your worst case scenario? Because you mentioned that they had a weak product process on quotes. So that, to me, that sounds like margin impacts. If you misquote, you could just lose your ass delivering to a client, and then also dealing with bad clients. Any entrepreneur knows what it's like to deal with the clients that can barely afford your service and their expectations are 5 times larger. As a creator, and we deliver content, they see the highest end content and they think that it's just magically going to fit their world without having to do any effort. They'll show up and not do any research. They won't know their niche. They won't be speaking on camera. They'll have done zero effort, thinking that somehow you can take a zero into a hero just like overnight at the entry price. And they have no idea when they see Alex Hormozi's been doing it for, how many years, how many cycles has he been on camera? How many years of his life did he make content where no one knew his name? And he kind of sucked at it. And eventually over time, he got really good at this. And then one day it shows up, you see Alex Hormozi, you think, oh, the Hormozi captions is going to be the difference between me being me not being known at all, and then my content being popular and everybody knows my name. No, it's not the fucking captions. It was the 7 to 10 years that guy spent drudging through the mud of sales to be an expert in his industry. That's what did it.
Yeah, well, Hormozi has literally shut down businesses, lost money on them just to get away from the distraction that was an impediment on his progression.
Oh, I believe
the
it.
guy's a fucking gangster, and he's young. He's in his early 30s, but you've also seen his physique. He's fucking ripped. He's in really good shape. But let me say this, the most important thing, authenticity.
Yeah.
Honesty. You want to be a successful entrepreneur in any fucking business, it's honesty, authenticity, right?
Yeah.
Discipline, professionalism, craftsmanship, integrity, and love. So I know that sounds like a lot, but when you break it down, it's not. It's all required. It's all required.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. When I first started my construction company, all I had was a Ford Ranger, some hand tools, a couple power tools. I could remodel a kitchen, I could remodel a bathroom, and I could do a good job doing it. But I had to do a lot of shit jobs for shit people for shit pay with a smile on my face just to get them to tell the next person how incredible I was.
Right.
My first year in business, I netted $15,000 in 2009, bro.
That's crazy. That's like a slow day for you today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that
That's what it
fucking
takes.
nuts?
That's what it
So
takes.
this is the thing. Wes Watson says it best. Just keep fucking walking.
That's right.
Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't get distracted. Don't get discouraged. It's going to be fucking hard. Some days are going to be like hell. And you know what? Those are the real tried and true moments that test your integrity and your being. Because if you can fucking beat those days, you can beat the 99% of the population who lays down and dies like a little bitch.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
Like the world's not designed for the sheep to get out ahead, and that's where people are confused. You want to know the fastest way to get somewhere, the easiest way to get somewhere, the cheapest way. You're asking the wrong questions. What is the most basic way to get there?
Fundamentals.
And fundamentals, mastering the basics will get you there, but you just can't stop. So 18-hour days, normal life when you're starting, 7 days a week for a few years of your life until you can build the systems to back out of those roles. And that's normal. But the problem is that a regular person that's going from 9 to 5, that has a secure paycheck coming in all the time, they won't understand is that you have to do triple, quadruple to get ahead from the pack. That's what it is. You're getting ahead of the pack, and then you just outlast them.
I'm going to blow your mind right now. Do you know who Tim Grover is?
I do, yeah.
He's a strength and conditioning coach for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Okay? And in his years, 20, 30 freaking years of working with these guys, the two things that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant most had in common together is they would literally take their team and show them, if you want to be a champion, you need to be at practice at this time. If you want to be a champion, you need to tell yourself, you need to have a mindset that says, I am never done. I have work to do.
Yeah.
Every moment I'm awake, I am training to be a champion, because winning requires one thing and one thing only. Anything and everything that's required to win. Winning doesn't give a fuck about your friends, your family, your feelings, any of that. It only cares about what's required to win. So going back to Tim Grover, he has never seen anybody more passionate, more disciplined, hardworking, but smart than those two individuals right there. And they both have something in common. They're champions, right? Yep. When Tim Grover was talking to Kobe Bryant one day, he said, Kobe, we got work to do. We don't have much time left. He kept saying that, Kobe, we don't have much work to do. We have a lot of work to do. We don't have much time left. Kobe, we got a lot of work to do. We don't have much time left. It was just like instilling a habit. And then that passed on to the team. Like team members would show up to practice late. And Kobe would literally say, listen, do you want to win a championship? You need to be here before me. End of story. Do you not give a shit? Yeah. Well, you're required for us to win. There's 5 people on this court. Having one of them, even 2% off, could be the difference, right? So, Tim Grover, Kobe, we don't have much time. And then on stage, with tears, Tim Grover says, and then when I got that call that he was gone, I wished that all these years that what I was saying to him wasn't true. And he's right. You don't have much time. So don't waste your fucking time.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, life is precious. Most people talk about gratitude, being present, all these things, these buzzwords they use on social media, but the reality is you're not present for yourself. You're not telling the truth to the person that matters the most in the mirror. And every single day you're doing things that aren't in alignment with your urgency. Urgency is show up every day, work hard, leave 100% on the table, throw everything at it, including the kitchen sink. That's a Tim Grover quote. Like throw everything at it, including the kitchen sink, and go hard. Is because you don't know what 2, 5, 10 years looks like. You could be in a wheelchair in 2, but you could be a millionaire in 1. Mm-hmm. So what are you waiting for? Like, you just won't go the distance. You can't be drinking with your homies, watching football Saturday and Sundays, and think you're going to be a millionaire. That 4-hour work week, I don't know who wrote that book, but that's fucking stupid. It doesn't exist. I've never met an entrepreneur that's in the 7-8-figure space across the board my entire life who works 4-hour days. Never even heard of it, or a 4-hour week. It doesn't exist. You have to have such a massive bubble of active income to produce that kind of life. It's ridiculous. Like 3 or 4 lifetimes of work compressed into a decade to afford year 11 through 30 in a 4-hour work week is like not reality.
It's not reality. It's unrealistic. And that's why we have so many people that are stuck where they're at, because instead of just getting fucking started and being honest, they're looking for the lie. They're looking for the microwavable success, right? They're like, I want to learn the thing. Now where's the reward? No. You learned a thing. You've acquired a tool. Now you got to put the work. Yeah. People think that just by showing up and being present, they pay money to go to a seminar or whatever, right? And they learn a couple things that they're just going to walk out of there all fired up, and then they're just going to make money. Let me tell you how you make money. You solve problems for people. Absolutely 100%. You have to have the ability to take somebody who has an issue and say, hey, I can help you with that.
Right.
Let me show you how. Let's go. And then they pay you. That's how the fucking world works, man. All we are is problem solvers. We're engineered to solve problems.
Oh yeah,
as simple as I'm gonna walk from here to the store. That's a problem. How do I solve it? I fucking walk to the store.
Uber.
Yeah, or Uber. That's what we do. Another thing too is like kids growing up. Their brain development is very important for their brain development to use opportunity for them to be creative. You got to let them fuck up. Let them make a mess. Let them think on their own, right? Because they learn that way. Because you don't just learn by reading or listening, visual, audible, kinetic. You learn kinetic too. And that's why jiu-jitsu, I believe, is one of the number one reasons I am as successful as I am. Because it's another, because kinetic learning. Doing construction, I learned kinetically as well, right? This was before YouTube, right? We didn't know I didn't even have cell phones, bro, when I started. So it was kinetic learning, right?
Hey, what do we know, right?
Yeah, what do we know?
What do we know?
I love the gray beard.
Yeah, he kills it. So I'm a firm believer of that. I mean, we share a mentor, Wes Watson. I'm sure a few people out here have seen that guy. He's absolutely a Terminator from the future. But, there's this thing he says where it's not a knowledge issue. It's an application issue. And when I go back and look at my life, 15 years old, I was making, between 15 and 18, I had 7 vehicles that I paid for cash as a kid, and I was painting cars. I worked my way up at the custom shop. I was working 12, 18-hour days in high school practically, Fridays, Saturdays, and all the Sundays, grinding. And it was that character trait. Hard work, repetition, working with your hands, failure, not being afraid to push the limits and fail at a new endeavor over and over and over again. And that led me to be my entrepreneurial self. I had 7 cars. So a Chevy Tahoe, a Lincoln Navigator, an 89 Caprice, an 83 Coupe de Ville, a 64 Impala, and a 76 Corvette. I had that before I graduated high school.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's entrepreneurship, like hard work. I didn't have like some crazy .com skill or a PhD in anything or an education in shit. I knew how to fix cars, paint cars, and then beat the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Right? And then put money back into my clients' hands. So a kickback. Oh, so this is before I even knew anything about business. I just saw an opportunity. I knew I could work there to get there, and I didn't have obnoxiously high talents. I just had one thing, perseverance. Like I would just go until I couldn't go anymore. I didn't do a 2-hour day. I didn't do a 3-hour day. I did like 12, 18. And that's how I was able to have all these whips at a young age and be crazy.
Eradicate your fear of what people think about you. Allodaxophobia is the fear of what other people think about you, which a lot of people suffer from that. And the reason they do is because the environment that came up around them, right? People are so fucking sensitive now. Right. They're so worried about what other people think. They're so worried about words hurting someone's feelings. And then that turns into a detriment that they just sit in it. and they hold on to it, and then they pass it on. And before you know it, you got people so worried about saying something that they are just shutting off their very being, their opportunity to emanate and to spread energy and communication. Like, just go out there and be yourself, tell the fucking truth. If people don't like you, good. They did you a fucking favor.
Oh, yeah.
I have haters in the jiu-jitsu community. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because they hate how fucking successful I am and how loved I am. And they've been in the community longer than me. And it drives them fucking nuts. And you know what I say to them? I feel bad for you. That's a you fucking problem.
Right.
Stop being a bitch. And instead of hating on me, maybe listen to me.
Yeah, ask for help.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Seriously, dude, if somebody said, hey, Shannon, if you could go back 20 years knowing what you know now, what would you do different? It's like, I would find a coach that 10x what I wanted to do, right? And say, hey, I want to run a business. Can you help me? Sure. I don't care what it costs. Dude, if somebody said, okay, someone came to me and said, Shannon, I want you to coach me through my business. All right, cool. It's a call a week, group call. It's $20K for the year in advance, and I will freaking 3x your business in that year. So in other words, if you're doing $150K a year, right? I can take that and make sure that you're doing $450K a year in 1 year. I know that because I'm validated, because I can show you my books going back 5 years where I was doing $200K and now I'm doing $5 million. So again, you want to talk about credentials? I have people that have said to me, dude, and they know me, dude, you are the most successful person from where you started to where you are that I have ever fucking met.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah. And it's crazy because there are people in my life when I first started my business that helped me get started. They helped me get started just by being honest and a good dude, right?
Right.
And then now I help them. But that's how it fucking works, man. And it's not even a matter of like, I'm not even trying to say, oh, I'm better than him, you know? And he just knows, oh, shit. Shannon's hitting some areas over here that I'm not used to. Hey, Shannon, help me out. Boom, of course. And I don't even charge him. I don't even charge these guys. It's just part of my circle, right?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Rising tides.
Yeah.
Lifts all ships.
You got to pay back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me. So you talk about being judged in character. So I was sitting in a cubicle. I was running 2 multi-billion-dollar defense organizations. So software engineer, you know, PhD level education. I'm super geek, right? Once upon a time. But I'm sitting in a cubicle and just hating fucking life. Hating life. And I run across this guy, you know, Wes Watson, right? Outspoken, did time in prison, like tattoos up to his neck, big swole, veiny fucking monster of a man. And I remember I was like, this man knows something that I don't. He came from zero to a multi-millionaire every single month. I mean, the dude makes like $2-3 million a month. And here I am sitting in this fucking cubicle. I'm not hurting. You know, I'm doing like $300-400K as a W-2 holder. But I was like, man, I got to get with this guy and figure out what is it that he knows that I don't. And boy, the ridicule I got from going from that white collar desk job, you know, program management executive over into doing masterminds with Wes Watson and then eventually picking up a camera. I would have just lists of people. I can't believe you associate with these kinds of people. And my response back was, he's honest. He was honest about what he did. He was honest about where he wanted to go. And his actions were more valuable to me than your words sitting in the cubicle.
100%.
Yeah, you're faking it, and this dude is 100% real.
Well, this is the thing, Clinton. You're absolutely fucking right. Thank you for bringing that up. It's like this is what I say to people. It's like, listen, everybody's gonna have their opinion. They're gonna try to tell you how you should live their life. Right. However, if you take advice from them, does that mean you become like them?
Exactly.
You cannot, right? Exactly. So, like, I love my mom and dad. They're amazing people. Yeah. And you want to know one thing I'll tell you about my mom and dad right now? They know that I, as a son, have done more than anybody in my entire fucking family combined.
Oh, yeah.
My mom is so fucking proud of me. My dad, who's not even my biological father, he adopted me when I was 7, bro. He raised me.
Right.
He was in the Navy, 23 years, retired senior chief, got 2 fucking degrees in college, and went back to work after retirement. He still works today. And he works in my business too, part-time after work. The dude's a fucking beast. And he gives me advice when I ask.
Sure. Yeah. They don't inject.
Yeah.
They don't inject advice. They guide their child. But you're an alpha, dominant, a successful guy. What are they going to advise you?
Right.
Like how to make spaghetti and meatballs. Like, okay, yeah, give it to me. I don't know how to
Yeah.
do that shit, but don't talk about my business.
Correct.
Like, where's your success?
So many people are it's like Dunning-Kruger syndrome. People will talk about something just to make themselves feel smart.
Yeah, they
right?
wanna- yeah, they wanna feel like
And
a
this is
part
what
of
I
it.
say is like, listen, guys, if you want to have some sort of value to add to others, you need to fucking do something that validates who you are and what you're talking about. And I love what Wes says, man. And I, when he said this, I was like, oh my fucking God, that makes so much sense. He's like, build yourself to be the person you want to be and offer it to the world, right? You become your superhero. He says, when I got out of prison, I looked around, I didn't find anybody I looked up to. So I imagined a person that I looked up to and I became that person. And then everything else is just going to come along with it, right? Mindset, skill set, habits. So mindset is making the decision like to walk into the jiu-jitsu school. You have to lead with your mind, but your actions will reinforce your thoughts, and your thoughts will reinforce your actions. So when you have a mindset, you make the decision to do something that you know is going to be constructive, and in congruency, you go, hey, I'm going to pick an area, isolate and attack it, and maximize that. Okay, while I'm doing that, now I'm going to take this with me. And while I'm doing that, now I'm going to take this with me. So you're working on your fitness, you're working on, your diet, what you put in your mouth, and you're also working on your mind. You're reading or listening. I don't even read much. I listen to I'm audible, right? I listen, like listen. And I listen to like 5 people that I get a lot from, of course, Wes Watson, Andy Frisella, Andy Elliott, Brad Lee, to name a few guys that are doing things that I want to do. They're all business guys.
Right.
It's funny how that works, right? They're all business guys. But the most important thing, I think, for people is to, when they work on their personal development, when they work on their mindset, skill set, habits, taking care of themselves, going to the gym, making a routine, what happens is everything else gets easier. Then they go, oh shit, I put in the work and I got these results. Oh, so that's all I have to do is take this habit, bring it over here in my business, and I'll get the results. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's that fucking simple. People overcomplicate shit. People overcomplicate things to the point where they make it unattainable.
Right.
If you make something so fucking hard, you can't succeed in it, like you're just setting yourself up for failure. It's not that fucking complicated.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's simple.
It's not rocket science. And by the way, I've never met a rocket scientist that makes more money than me.
No, that's crazy. Is that we make
I
more
mean, no
money than
offense.
neurosurgeons and shit, and they're supposedly the smarter ones in society. No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're more educated. It doesn't make you smarter. Smarter means what you apply.
Dude, smart means knowing the difference between doing something stupid and doing something that's going to be advantageous, right?
Exactly. They all drink, right?
It's-
You're a fucking high-level rocket scientist for NASA, but you're out there throwing back Jack and Cokes, smoking cigars, every other night thinking
Yeah.
you're winning, man.
Yeah.
So along my journey is what I learned is it wasn't the things that I was doing. It was the things I needed to remove.
Yeah.
And removal for me was distractions. I have a little bit of addictive personality. Both my parents were drug addicts and hippies from the 60s out of Southern California. And, I have a little bit of that in me too. They, my life grew up with bottles of alcohol, hard drugs like heroin, coke, weed isn't a hard drug, but drugs in general. And that was, violence was a normal thing. So I needed to remove all those conditioning factors from my life to where even casual alcohol was holding me back. And and we're talking the difference between a championship person and high performing is 1%, 2%, 3%. Minimal, you're slicing hairs when it comes to where you want to go. To take you from 400K to $1 million is literally slicing hairs. It could be one simple thing. For me, it was removing alcohol, removing the drugs, focusing on physical fitness, getting up early, working harder, and just kind of getting back that savage, if you will, entrepreneurship drive that I had in the Marine Corps, I had as a kid, and just society and habits drifted over time. And that really worked for me. And I got that from my mentor. And if I were to leave one thing with the audience is, it's not the knowledge that you need to gain from successful people that are on the podcast or that you follow on the internet. It's the things that they don't do. They're not staying out late partying. They're typically not drinking. I was at the gym this morning, Elevation here in Miami, and it was 8 a.m. Memorial Day. There were 15, maybe 20 people at the gym between 6 and 8. consistently, but there were 5 or 6 exotic cars in the parking lot. We were working out with probably, it was Wes Watson, Yados, Tanner Shittister, Shannon, Adam Powell, like myself. There were probably Sohab, like every one of those people is a millionaire, multi-millionaire, all have the same habits. No alcohol, no drugs, up early, working late, not out on the streets partying and not chasing girls. Every single one of them. Notice something, guys? Notice something?
You know, the funny thing is when you said, it's not about what you do, it's what you don't do. Well, that's where you start, right?
Right.
And like if your hands are full of a bunch of things that you should not be doing, you don't have room for things that you should be doing.
100%.
So what I would say this is like, first of all, you make no excuses. Authenticity, don't lie to yourself, don't lie to others, make no excuses. Along the way, you're gonna let go of shit and then take on new stuff that's gonna help you. You're gonna let go of shit and take on new stuff that's gonna help you. And right away, people know what they should let go of. But there's a lot of stuff they're holding on to that they don't realize they should let go of too. For instance, friends. My definition of a friend and someone else's definition of a friend vary significantly. I think of a friend as somebody who's going to elevate you, right? Other people think of a friend as somebody who's just going to tell them what they want to hear. That's the most fucking dangerous friend you can have.
That's horrible.
Like, yeah, they may mean well, they're nice people, but they're lying to you.
Right.
And then they're reinstilling in you that it's okay to lie. Then habitually, you become somebody who just puts feelings first.
Right.
Your emotions could get you fucking killed. It's very dangerous. I use emotions to motivate me, but I use logic to make decisions. So in business, if you make decisions based on your emotions, you're going to fucking die. Oh, I'm going to hire my friends and family because I love them. They're going to fuck you. I love my friends and family, but I'm not going to hire you because you're going to kill my fucking business.
Oh, without hesitation, he's like, they're going to fuck you.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be smiling.
Yeah. So you got to use logic to make decisions. And it may hurt to make emotional decisions, or it may hurt to make logical decisions.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've had to fire people that it killed me. People with families.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to fire them. I've had to let them go and say, hey, I'm sorry, but this is not working out. It hurts. But you know what hurts more? Holding on to them and taking away from my own fucking family.
Yeah, you have a large umbrella of
Dude.
a family called a business.
Exactly. So when you are introducing constructive habits, you are relinquishing destructive habits. And there's 2 types of people in the world. There's destructive people and there's constructive people. And as a general contractor, I just so happen to be gifted in construction, right? Yeah. And then let me say this. When I let go of the pills, bro, this is back in 2009, 2010. I first started my business and I was on pills. I was drinking, making excuses. I was going to therapy, bro. I went to therapy for 2 years and learned everything about anti-anxiety, panic attacks, cognitive behavior therapy, grounding techniques, and meditation. Bro, you want to talk about real shit? I sat in front of a fucking man in his 60s who was a fucking amazing human being with a lot of life experience, and he saved my fucking life. Well, I saved my own life, but he helped me. And he said, Shannon, you have to promise yourself this. You're going to have another panic attack, but it's okay because you know what to do. Yeah. You're going to have moments where you have doubts and insecurities. That's okay because you know what to do. You have done the most, like I did more in 6 months as one of his clients than collectively 10 of his clients. I was a success story for him. And he asked me one day, he says, I want to tell your story. Do you give me permission? I said, fuck yeah. It's going to help people. Bro, tell them to call me. Tell them to call me.
Yeah, man, everybody struggles, man. A lot of people don't know is that at the lowest point of my life, man, a girl broke my heart. I was drinking a bottle of tequila like every other fucking day. This is for real, man. I just had lost the will to live. Like I'd been through so much stuff with the childhood trauma with my mom shooting my dad to, all my time in Marine Corps, 355 weeks of my life spent in a combat zone. So all those things add up to where eventually, you can, in a moment of weakness, drinking, low, depressive state, hormones probably off. I loaded the fucking shotgun and set that shit against the wall. I'd be like, hey, if I set a clock on this fucking phone right here for 60 minutes, I said, God, if you don't give me a sign to not die, I'm going to grab this shotgun, put it under my chin, and make a mess in the front room. That wasn't even that long ago, 2.5 years. About 2.5, 3 years, something like that. But regardless, is that can happen to anybody, right? In a moment of weakness, you can find yourself in a state, especially when introducing pills, alcohol, all these depressants, and life is not going in the direction you think it is. You can have a moment of weakness where you don't get a second chance. Fortunately, I heard that voice, that inner voice, and basically was telling me I was being a selfish piece of shit man by not seeking out help. I had to. I immediately got into action. I got a good mentor. I got myself some help, therapy, right, from the PTSD, other shit. Just started putting in work to understand what was going on in my mind and removing the negative things in my life that were really draining me down slowly. So the bad relationships. You mentioned the relationships. That's really the point here, is that the people that I was surrounding myself with were essentially evil. Not intentional, of course, but just by behavior.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really supposed to be that person, and they were just slowly dragging me under the water with their lives. So people with no assets, people with no education, people with no woman, no family,
no ambition,
no kids, no drive. They were just like Jezebel spirits just pulling me down to the bottom with them. Basically demons, not by intention, just by seeking out pleasure.
The majority of the evil in the world, the majority of it's inadvertent. It really is. Right. People think that there's more evil in the world than good. I say, no. There's just more evil that's recognized because it's inadvertent. And what I mean by that is, if you don't have a constructive purpose, a pursuit of a purpose, if you don't have basically, I'm an offering to the world, right? I like to help people. I like to coach people, jujitsu, in every fucking way. It's just what I love to do. Was I always that way? No. I came from a time and a place where I wanted to hurt people for looking at me the wrong way, because I thought that was the way to be.
Right.
It wasn't me. It was just a habit that was instilled in me because of the environment.
Right.
Okay. And then once I started to realize, oh, actually, there's a being in me that's being suppressed because my environment is like this shell that's like pushing this way. Right. And the being within me cannot come out. I have to break through that shell. I've got to get rid of this piece and this piece. And it was the people around me.
Right.
And not just around me, it was the people that I've seen like on the phone and on TV, If you watch the news on TV, stop.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you watch the news on television, fucking stop.
It's fake.
That is 100% killing you slowly, keeping you exactly where you don't deserve to be. And I'm somebody that says nobody deserves nothing. You're not entitled to anything, right? Only you can go out there and make it possible for you to receive what you desire. No one else is going to fucking do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
No one is coming to fucking save you. There are people that can help you, but you have to go, hey, I want to be helped. You want to be helped? Yeah. Okay. What would you like? I want to do what you do. All right. So you need to do what I did. And this is what that looks like. And it may not happen tomorrow, but if you don't get started, you'll never fucking finish. My best friend killed himself.
Oh, yeah.
He took his own life 7 years ago.
Rough. How was that?
The worst fucking phone call I've ever endured. And I'll tell you this, I was this fucking close myself. And let me say this right now. Suicide is a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. So on my journey of going down that dark hole of psychology, if you will, it was really just where I was at in my life, and I needed to remove my friends. So I had to distance myself between the negativity so I could focus on the positivity. And it was really just getting to work with action. So physical fitness, nutrition, removing the alcohol, getting a mentor, getting some mental help, like those kinds of things. I didn't take any medication. I'm not a big fan of self-medicating. I think that life in itself is beautiful, and there's really not a good life or a bad life. It's just life experience. You make of it what you will. So leveraging that combat experience in the Marines and 4 tours in combat, it was a quick move to get out of that space and get back into the healthy operational space. I'm typically I'm a infinite optimist. I see the best in life. People are like, oh, what happens if your business fails? Well, what happens if it doesn't? You know what I mean? What happens if it doesn't? I don't really believe in failure. There are learning lessons. So the L's in life for me have all been lessons. And I've had some big ones. 19, charged with a federal crime, looking at 96 to 76 months mandatory, right? At 19 years old with a baby on the way. We figured out how to get that situation and make it positive. 4 tours in combat, figured out how to turn that L, if you will, 4 tours in combat, dropping bombs on humans all day, every day, into a win of my life. First person with master's degree in engineering, first person with doctoral level degree in engineering, first 7-figure entrepreneur in my family, first person to not drink. Like, you noticing these firsts over and over again in my life. And it was just drive to do something better that I'd never done before. It was no magic sauce. It was no blueprint. It was no quick funnel. It was no magic ad. No. It was all the basic shit. Relationships, positive work ethic, positive outlook, and just not accepting that you can't do more.
This is the thing I'm going to say too, Clinton. It's like, let's talk about success. It's subjective, based on one person's opinion of success and another. For me, if you're able to go through life, and for me, it's helping people, adding value to others, right? Success to me isn't like, oh, I make millions of dollars. Success to me is I do exactly what I want to do because my conscience tells me this is where you should be. And if I ignore that, then I'm basically saying, oh, I'm selfish, so selfish that I want to say no to the things that I should be doing that's going to help people,
right,
and yes to the things that are just going to destroy me and possibly others. So success for me is my family, my wife and my kid being a part of me and my life, and I a part of them, in such a way that when I see my kid, even if it's only been 15 minutes and he comes upstairs, it's like, it's Daddy, and it's a hug, and I love you.
Right.
You know, hour goes by, hi Daddy, it's a hug, and I love you, right? I give him little kisses on the cheeks and on the head, and my son's 8. Dude, that's like, it fills my cup. It fills my cup. And I will never stop doing what I do because I know that there is something that is greater than myself.
Yeah, 100%.
Is greater than myself. And my idea of success is, some people's idea of success is money. Sure, some people's idea of success is taking care of their family. Some people's idea of success is just fucking staying alive. Cool. Yeah, let's make it happen. But dude, when you said that, like, you basically got away from all the shit that was hurting you and you took it as lessons, and not failures or lessons, and that's correct. Dude, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to do hard shit. As a matter of fact, you kind of need to do hard shit. Your body is engineered to endure hard shit, and you do learn from it. And then the hard shit gets to the point where the stuff that you once thought was hard is now easy. And then you're going to look back and go, holy shit, all this fucking time I was trying to fucking reinvent the wheel. I was trying to figure out stuff at a young age. I knew fuck all that people who have collectively been trying to figure this out for fucking hundreds of years. There is no fucking secret. Just go out there and be my best self, and you will live a happy life. Even if you don't hit that financial mark you thought you did, it's not even about that.
You can do better than everybody you've ever known by just doing a little bit more work than everybody you've ever known. I mean, that's I hate to tell you that that's not a sexy secret to success, but if you applied more work in your relationships, more work being a father, more work in your profession, more work in your spirituality, and more work into yourself, you'd be better than probably everybody you've ever met. And probably almost all those areas, even though you're not driving around in McLaren or something crazy, you would be by the definition, an example of the American dream.
100%.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. I fully believe that. I mean, in my own life, that's a plenty of an example of that is just hard work. I mean, I get it over and over again. What's the secret? Hard work, bitch.
Yeah.
Hard fucking work. That's it.
Get started, don't stop, be honest, and make people successful too. So as blessed as I am to have customers who are grateful for my services, right, in every way, I have employees and subcontractors and vendors that I also make successful, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like, if you as an individual can do this much, you can earn this much. Well, imagine if you as an individual can do this much and then show somebody how to do that, and then you do this and then you show them how to do that, and before you know it, you've got 7 to 10 to 20 people making you money, but you're taking care of them too, because incentive is very important, especially for the average person. No disrespect to the average person. I love you. I wish you the best. But the average person, just like you said, wants that paycheck that comes every couple weeks, that comfort, that little, that stable little idol. But dude, you make people successful, they'll make you successful. But they have to know this too. Like when I hire somebody, I don't hire them based on, they want to just make a paycheck. Yeah, everyone needs to make money, but I hire people that I know are going to show up and they're going to give me their best and they want to grow too. Like my employees, the reason why they learn so much is because they fucking listen and they care. Right. I have employees that started and knew nothing. Right. And then now they can just run a job on their own pretty much. And if they ever come across a situation where they don't understand it, they're not going to assume they do. They're going to call and ask me so that it doesn't become a bigger problem, right? They may come to me with some solutions. Hey, man, this thing happened. I think this is the way. And I go, yeah, that's the way. Good job. Thank you. Boom.
No, that's a good sign of leadership. And that's actually, if you're trying to develop your leadership skills, I learned this in the Marine Corps, is that the easiest way to work on your leadership is do the hard work for the person that's going to make the decision above you. So for example, you are looking at a problem and you've identified, hey, these are some options. Put that shit on a silver platter and go to your boss. So say, hey, look, I don't know what to happen here, but I think this way, and this way are potentially options. What do you think? 2, right? Do the hard work for your boss and give them the options, the risk factors, and the success opportunities out of that so they can make it a quick decision. I learned that in combat. Combat is highly decision driven. It's an event decision based process, and that you have to weigh risk versus reward, right? And lay it out clearly to where a person that's going to be above you can make a decision quickly. Oh, we don't want to go this way. We want to go this way. And this is why. Execute. You have any questions? No, I'm good. Thank you. And do that. And you'll see it and try it. It's trial, error over and over and over again. But put it up on a silver platter so that you can work on your own leadership, because that's how you present information to people that don't have a lot of time, right? You just clear, concise, yes, no, what are my risks? Done. That's it. And you can fly through decisions like that all day. I am positive Elon Musk gets decisions handed to him that exact way. Hey, this is going on. These are what we think are your potential course of actions. And here's your risk. Like, what do you want to do, big dog? He's like, we're doing this one. He's like, takes him 3 minutes to make a multi-billion-dollar decision.
The thing is too, is like guys at that level, right? They're no different than you or me or the next person. They're really not.
Well, Elon is probably different.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, you know it when you watch 5 seconds of that guy on television. You're like, he's different. He's an alien.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is this: it's like they're no different. The difference is they found something, they niched down, right? They immersed themselves in education. They loved it, right? They're passionate about it, and they were leaders. And when you're a leader and you're a constructive person, you're going to attract other people that are of the same frequency. Yeah. And then what happens, you got 50 people around you and you're going really far, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then and you can't stop it. Like he's to the point where he doesn't even do anything except just reassure the people that are working with him that what they did, what the options that they bring to the table are correct. Sure. Right? Yeah. And dude, that's just a team. Straight up, man.
Team. That's leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership 101 is the ability to be able to pick good help. You don't hire your friends and family that can't proof themselves. Like, what's your skill, bro? Yeah. Like, what value you're adding to this business? I know you want the paycheck, but what can you do for us?
Right.
Us. It's a us thing, right? It's not just me. Like, I don't just take all the money. Like, I have employees and clients that we have to serve. Like, it's an us thing. Like, we win together and then we also lose together.
Right. That's
crazy.
Correct.
It's crazy, man. So one thing that you did mention is, the family, the friends. I'm hearing basically you have the American dream. To me, that sounds like the American dream. Family, spirituality, your fitness, your business, you're helping people. What's next on your
100 exit? I fucking love my life. Like so when I get my mind or my heart set on something, I fucking make it happen. Like my wife wants a farm.
Oh,
she wants a farm. She doesn't want to run the farm. She just wants to buy the farm. She wants to have a farm. So basically what we're going to do, Nashville, Tennessee area is we're, probably not this 2025, next year coming. We're going to look at, a farm that we want to buy. Cows, whatever, so that we can have somebody raise cows, take them to the butcher, meat, whatever, dairy, all that shit, manure too, whatever.
Awesome.
And she wants a fucking farm, right?
Hey man, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Even if the farm breaks even, we don't even make money on it. It's not even about the money. You see, it's about the it's the experience, right? It's the life. It's also real shit, dude. Like having an understanding of how real life fucking works. I think that is more important than 99% of the people's bullshit fake life. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I love nature and the balance between farms. So my grandfather owned a farm many moons ago in Nebraska, and he had self-sustaining. I mean, they had cows, they had crops, they had everything. He had a garden. Like that dude didn't have to buy shit from the store. Like it was all produced there.
Yeah, and that's exactly it too. It's like it's going to help people. It's going to feed them, right? Offer opportunity for employment. Educational for everybody, and my son to be around that too, you know, because my son's going to be a beast. There's no doubt about it. He's a good kid, good-looking kid, very freaking smart. Like, there's no doubt about it, and I'm so fucking blessed to have him. But do you think that comes by accident?
Oh no, it's continual, repetitive conditioning over time. Like just nurturing. Like it's never ending, all day, every day.
Yeah.
And you have to guide the young life, just like all lives, actually, on the boundaries of what's acceptable, what's not. Like humans need limits for the most part. Like if you just let them go to their it's just natural basic instincts, you know, it'd be candy, but for me it'd be potato chips, ice cream all day. I'd just be fucking off. I'm like, 'cause that's what I'm drawn to do.
Kids are engineered to learn, but they'll learn the bad shit too.
That's right.
Right? If you give a kid candy, they're eating, oh, this tastes good. This is food. Wow, this is amazing. So in their mind, their brain goes, oh, this is food. This is what I'm supposed to eat.
Yeah, conditioning.
But you as a parent, obviously you're uneducated. Because what you're doing is you're killing your kid before they even get a chance.
Yeah, they don't have a fair chance. It's not fair. Like if you allow the institution of public education and even private education and the news and television
indoctrination, bro.
Yeah, to guide your child into adulthood, their ethics and values are going to be so far out of fucking whack. It's crazy. Like it's psychopath. Like the basic functions of humanity to treat people nice, tell the truth, like control what you put in your body a little bit, get some exercise. These are all things that aren't really discussed in school anymore.
No, because it's critical thinking, right? And then when you let somebody use their creative mind at an early stage, they become critical thinkers. If they become critical thinkers, then you have a lot of people who are too smart to be swayed by other people. And unfortunately, and I'm not going to point any fingers or say any names, but there's a lot of people out there that don't give a shit about you except for what you can do for them. And they utilize you as a pawn in their chess game. Okay. Yeah. And it starts with the public education system, especially for young minds, because young minds are very, very malleable. You can take a kid and tell them all the fucking worst shit in the world, and they will grow up believing that that's the way to be because they're learning, but they don't know the difference between right and wrong unless you help them understand. Right. And I'm kind of grateful that, dude, I didn't graduate high school. Dude, I went through high school. I'd be listening to, I got bad grades. I was a DE student, man. I failed 7th grade. School was not for me. And I was judged. I got expelled from middle school for talking back to a teacher. Expelled. Like, dude,
What?
I am so glad.
What?
Fuck that, dude. I am so glad that I was such a fucking contrarian, right? That I would literally like get in trouble, get thrown out of school, like go to detention, hang out. Like I did not fuck with school. But when I applied myself to like math and art and like geometry, I was good at it, right?
Yeah.
But dude, everything else is like, this is bullshit. This isn't gonna help me.
It's the institute. It's boring.
I guess,
boring.
and you know what though? I'll say this, man. I'm kind of grateful for my mom by being the one that kind of kept me from, because she went through some real shit too. She kind of, and dude, like my mom is she's retired now and she's in her 70s, but she's a beast, dude. She worked her fucking ass off, dude. She did everything from like cleaning porta johns, cleaning hotel rooms. Like she just worked and didn't make any excuses. But like she gave me a lot of opportunity to build my critical thinking, common sense, and like when I got expelled from school, she was like, yeah, whatever.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's a fucking
She's like, we'll just go to this detention school. Yeah. You just go to this school over here, whatever. You know, like, dude, it's incredible what people are capable of. And the unfortunate thing is they don't realize it. They don't realize that they're only working at a minimal potential. They're not maximizing their potential.
Oh, I think I couldn't agree more. Is that everybody else around there has an unlimited, untapped potential that they just don't themselves see. And the beautiful part about being in the coaching space, people like Shannon, people like the other mentors and coaches that I mentioned here, is they see what you don't see in yourself. So they'll push you to the limit and to your breaking point and then bring you back. And that's their job. They're not here to identify what you're doing great at. They're here to identify your deficiencies and push you hard enough to where you'll want to go correct those things that are holding you back from just being better you. And it's really that basic. So I think that's one of the greatest honors, is giving back to people and helping guide the people in your space, construction, and just life in general. There's a lot of things in your life you mentioned that are super high level. Multiple business owner, you have the family, you coach, you do jiu-jitsu. Essentially, you're a badass. Right?
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, hands down. His shirt says real. It should say real fucking authentic. Right? Where are all the real men at, ladies? Well, we got one right here. We got another one right here. And we're showing the generations coming after us what they've been missing, which is being truth, being honest with yourself, looking yourself in the mirror, holding yourself accountable, holding your word, showing up for your people. I mean, these are all just basic functions of masculinity that have just kind of eroded over time.
Well, dude, masculinity is eroding because it's being removed from society, because masculine men cannot be controlled. Masculine men, real men, are engineered to be this way. It's frowned upon because we can't be controlled. And then, unfortunately, there's a lot of men that are being controlled because they think that's just the way it's supposed to be. You could take a man that's in his mid-40s right now who is obviously very feminine, or just a beta male, I call him, right? He's not in good shape.
He said, you're being a bitch.
You're being a bitch. But I'm going to say this. It's not your fault.
That's right.
Unless you continue to choose to stay there, right? So if you think it's too late for you, you're fucking wrong. Because I fucking own a jiu-jitsu school. I have 350 students. I've had thousands of people come through my door. I have seen men walk in my jiu-jitsu school in their 50s, and they're in bad shape. They're overweight. They're fucking insecure. You know, they're really good at their job at the tech industry. But in one fucking year, they've lost 50 pounds. They've got muscle mass. They're a whole fucking new person. Yeah. The testimonies I have are like heartwarming, bro. I've had people tell me things that just make me fucking cry, because I knew that if it wasn't for them walking through that door and being introduced to myself, who knows where they'd fucking be.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
It's not over for you. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60. I don't give a fuck if you're 60 years old, whatever. It's not over for you. And then for you people in your 20s and your 30s, like if you take a look around and you see that the people that you surround yourself with, if they're doing the same shit now that they were 6 months ago, a year ago, don't you think that maybe you're in the wrong room? Because if you want to do more shit, you got to get around people who are doing more shit.
That's right.
It's that fucking simple. You're a product of your surrounding. 100%.
I what worked for me is I got in the room where I was the brokest dude.
100%.
I got into the room where I was the weakest fucking dude, right? And people laugh like, oh, don't you feel bad like you're around these guys that are all 225 and shit like that? I was like, no, they're pushing me to be better than I am. You take me in the gym now, who's doing the 6 fucking plates,
hey,
bitch? Right? The old motherfucker over here is putting these bigger men on fucking blast. It's like,
dude,
do the work.
When somebody comes to the realization, especially men, when they come to the realization, they're like, fuck, I don't feel good. I'm not happy. Right. I'm unhappy. Well, this is what you need to do. You need to stop doing what you're doing. You got to do something different.
Make a change.
You got to make a change, right? You got to course correct, right? Yeah. And another thing I'll say is, if you don't love yourself, how the fuck can you love anybody else? You have to build yourself to be able to build other people.
That's right. Yeah. If you don't, love starts internal.
It's 100%.
God, self, and then everything outward is just a projection of self.
And that conscious, that voice inside your head, it is basically God telling you, hey, this is what you need to be doing, right?
You know, everybody knows the difference between right and wrong. You know the shit you should be doing. You just don't listen. You want the easy way.
And the great thing is you don't have to do it alone. You guys don't have to suffer.
Yeah.
You literally do not. There's help out there. Be careful who you see online, because there's a lot of fake gurus, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you do your research, get to know them a little bit, and then go, you know what? I'm going to pick the coach that I feel most comfortable with, making me the person I want to be. Right?
Yeah.
I've had coaching from the highest level of people. And I've had people I tried out, learn a lot from them, and realize, you know what? They're going in this direction. I want to go in this direction. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. Sometimes you got to try things to realize that's not what I should be doing. Let me go over here.
Yeah, you take a component of what they're teaching you, not the whole fucking thing. You say, oh, this thing right here, I can take and put into my world. And that's really what I did with my mentors. I have a mentor. Not everything he does works for me.
No, yeah.
He's psycho, and that's okay. He's supposed to be, because he motivates me and inspires me. But I took a component of what really worked for him and applied that in my life. And it worked in my life because that's what I could do. I didn't want his life. I wanted a component of his life. And you get mentors and you simulate things into your world to make you better. I think that's it. We're almost out of time here. Give you the final floor. How do you want to leave the audience, and drop them some heat for a minute?
All right. First thing I want to say is, anybody who sees this and you enjoyed this interview, I appreciate you, still being here. Look me up on Instagram, Professor Shannon H. If you type in Professor S, I'm going to pop up. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, construction companies, coaching business. My wife runs a financial firm. I own real estate properties. I love what I do. I love people. I love adding value to others. Be an offering to the world. But in order to be an offering, you must receive information and knowledge and experience so that you can pass it on. And stop hanging out with stupid fucking people. Stop doing stupid fucking things. Okay? And if you don't know what that is, hit me up. Let's talk. And I might be able to help you. I'll meet you where you're at and say, look, this is where we need to start. And this is what it's going to take. And I promise you, you put in the work, you'll get the results. But you don't finish unless you get started.
Hey, the hardest step is that first step every time. After that, everything's easier. Belief in yourself to get you where you want to go all starts with, I can face failure. That's it. This man over here is an expert in jiu-jitsu. How many times did he have to tap out before he tapped out his first guy? It wasn't the first fucking time. He had to lose and learn a lot. So don't be afraid to take those lessons of life. Take that first scary step. It worked for us. It'll work for you. You just got to keep going. Take that L, learn, apply, and try not to make the same mistake over and over again, like a dumbass like me, right? Learn from it, apply it, and get smarter and better. And like everything, guys, don't hang around fucking losers. That's it. That's the final message. You are, what my grandmother say is, if you lie with dogs, you get fleas. Right? So the company you keep will infect you. Make sure the company you keep is going to infect you in a positive way, and you can keep elevating with elevated friends. That's it, guys. Hey, appreciate your time. Hit us up. The links will be down here on the bottom of the screen. And like always, tune in.